To my word, I am actually back this time. So I did make another video. My Superman video is what you guys are going to be watching today. I did have a little bit of an issue with the blue screen and figuring out how to get that evenly lit, but I'm going to buy a softbox to fix that issue so that next time this won't be an issue in the future. I'm learning. I'll get used to it. So just bear with me for the video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the video. Without further ado, let's get into it.
The movie starts off by giving us the new lore of the DCEU, basically explaining kind of the situation, explaining that humans have existed for about 300 years, give or take, and that Superman's been active for about 3 years. So, you know, it's looking pretty lively in the new DCEU, things going on, things happening behind the scenes that we're not too privy about. Quick non-spoiler review, just to make it easy for people. I'm going to break down acting, the plot, and the VFX. Plot, fortunately I'll give it 7 out of 10. Nothing crazy, it's just kind of what you'd expect from like a superhero film. It's nothing too out there, it's nothing too like unpredictable, but it's good. It's very good, and it's very enjoyable. The acting is incredible. The acting is generally 10 out of 10, and it's such a good time to watch David Cohen sweat, Nicholas Hoult, Rachel Brosnahan.
Okay, so editing Nathan here. I realized I made a major mistake in how I tried to pronounce one of the actors' names, Eddie Gafigi. So, first of all, I apologize for saying that wrong. Second of all, you are never hearing how I said that in the first place. Alright, thanks. Back to the video, bye. Eddie Gafigi
plays excellent, like Mr. Terrific. Nathan Fillion is incredible as Guy Gardner, and I think that the whole cast was just generally perfectly cast. It was such a good time to just watch everyone do what they were doing. Honestly, it was just so fun. VFX, I'd say they are generally another 10 out of 10. They are close. Generally, they make me giddy and excited to try like my own visual effects. That's literally why I'm doing this whole full screen nonsense where I'm pretending to be flying or whatever. It just looked great. It looked good. Like it was shot well. It was really fun. It was hopeful, optimistic. It was everything a Superman story really should be. It's very Christopher Reeves coded now that I think about it. It's actually really good though, and I really enjoyed just having fun and being taken on the ride that I was by James Gunn. So that was great. Of course, it was fun, and I just enjoyed what James Gunn's actually done with the character. What he's kept, comic accurate. I really enjoyed it. Everything that he did seemed to work for this film, and I was really happy about that. It gives me some real sense of hope and optimism for the new DCU. Like I said, it is very Christopher Reeves coded. So they use the classic John Williams score. They use the trunks on the outside. I'm not gonna put pants on top of my trousers. But, it's great. It's just incredible to watch. And honestly, I think anyone who hasn't seen the film should just go see it by now. Like, it's generally probably the best Superman film we've ever had. You know what? If you've not seen the film, just pause the video, go watch it, come back here, and then, we can get into what we really want to talk about, spoilers. So, spoilers. Yeah, no, Lex Luthor is an elite tier 8. Generally...
Is he saying something?
But Lex Luthor really genuinely hates Superman, and I think that's just so funny to see. It's refreshing to see a villain actually be a villain and not have this, moral grey area nonsense. Lex Luthor's just a bad guy, and that's reinforced several times throughout the film, and there's just no denying it. He's got a major problem with his ego, he's got a major problem with Superman just existing, being an alien. He's got major problems with his own personal image, how he thinks, how he acts, what he does in order to get what he wants. It's all wrong, and it's all great because he's a bad guy. I'm just glad that we've got a villain that actually, I'm a fan of sympathetic villains too. I generally do think Thanos was a great addition to the MCU, but not every villain needs to be the sympathetic, misunderstood character. Lex Luthor is just a bad guy. I'm so happy that they got that right.
Can I see you as my crush?
Again, I really have to reinstate the fact that the movie's really Christopher Reeves coded, and I enjoyed that. It felt like something that would come out in the 1980s, 1990s with a lot better visual effects, but still, it was really fun. It felt classic, but still new, and it was really good. David Cohen's set was, as much as I didn't really see it at first, and I didn't quite understand it, the way he plays Clark Kent and Superman is spot spot on. That's what I would expect from a comic book movie, a comic book rendition of Superman. He's confident and outgoing as Superman. He's, human, very human. But he is the Man of Steel still. So he's got that confidence. He knows he can do a lot of damage. He's still very strong. And then as Clark Kent, he is mild-mannered. The voice is different. The way he carries himself is different. The way he speaks to and about people slightly different, but still within the same kind of, gee shucks. I really like the fact that he doesn't swear or anything at all. He uses 80s and 60s terminology, and he sounds like a comic book character. He actually speaks like a comic book character. I really did enjoy it. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. She did a great job. She generally did a great job as Lois Lane. I could feel I 100% believe that she was the best in the field of what she was doing. She found the answers better than everyone else. She saw patterns and understood things that people weren't really looking for or didn't have the time to see. And I think that was really good. To make her distinctly Lois Lane F. She is super reported, and I really enjoyed it. Mr. Terrific.
Somebody asked me if I'm autistic. I'm autistic as
but he's very smart. Eddie Kathigi does a great job at portraying that character's kind of arrogance.
You playing on your phone?
No, I'm not playing on my phone. I'm taking care of business. I'm not studying what you're talking about.
That character is definitely more paranoid about her, I'd say. His first move is to plant nano-trackers in the bloodstream of everyone he meets. They're much, but okay. He's just a great character. He's just well acted. He makes every scene he's in just that much better. I just think he was a perfect cast for Mr. Terrific. The costume's great. The way he acts is great. I just really enjoyed seeing him on screen. I'm excited to see him more. One of the most underrated characters in comic books, in my opinion. I think he's the third smartest character in the DC universe, which is no small feat at all. Lex Luthor is a capable and reliably evil villain. He does everything in his power to just tear down Superman. It's the funny, watching him just go off on tangents and lose it when he sees Superman say someone. Oh man, that tickled me, tickled me right in here. It was good. And I had a good time watching Nicholas Hoult do Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. I know that Nathan Fillion's always been a great actor, and I've really enjoyed him in whatever role he's had. It's just this role, they make him so much of an asshole, and I really enjoyed it. Guy Gardner is that to a T. But yeah, no, Nathan Fillion played that role to perfection, and it's just great seeing how much everyone in the film was really concerned about the characters, getting the tone right, getting the movie to feel like a comic book. That's what it felt like. It felt like a comic book on the screen, and it was just great. It was really fun to watch, and it was excellent, honestly. I have to say, minute silence, rest in peace, Malik Ali. Fiction character, of course, but still, I didn't expect him to actually on the screen. Every part of that film felt lived in. That's why I'm going out my way to mention a side character who dies to elevate the plot and just, even though he's just there to service the plot and show you how much Superman cares about people, it still felt emotional when you see him die. And another thing about emotional side characters is Clark's parents. They are again perfectly well cast. Didn't really know what a true Midwest accent sounded like coming into this movie, but they are country. They are fully country. Mark Kent is she loves her boy, and she shows that on her sleeve. Clark Kent is the typical reserved. It is great just to watch these two people who we know are some of the most sweetest humans, raise someone who becomes one of the most sweet humans anyway, I guess. I really felt something when I watched them fuss over Clark and care about him. Obviously, he's literally their son. Not in the biological sense, but in every other sense that matters. They raised him, they fed him, they looked after him and everything, so they are his parents, truly, well and truly. And I think that the level of care that they managed to portray on screen was just perfect. It just felt real. And that's what I like to say about the film. It felt honest, sincere, and just fun. It was just a great Superman movie. I think that was generally one of the most touching cornerstone moments of the film, just watching them when Superman had been, poisoned by kryptonite and he's laying in bed, and they just fuss over it for the whole night. Clark Kent's speech to Clark when he's sitting on the bench, and he's telling him that what you wanted the message for your parents to mean says more about you than it does about anything else, and that's just great. It's 100% of what a father should try and do. It gives him encouragement, it reminds him the importance of making his own choices and being defined by his own self. He's a good parent. What can I say? I'm a sucker for emotional moments. Still tear on me. But yeah, it was great. It was honestly great to see. Crypto.
I don't know what dog you're talking about. Uncle Dog, okay? What did you say?
Uncle Dog, okay? What did you say?
I did not like that dog.
You need to leave!
I know that he's meant to be a prick. He did have his moment where he, like, you know, he stole the show and he helped Clark, he saved everyone and everything. Yeah, boo-hoo, big whoop, you were meant to do it. Anyway, if that was my dog, I would not have that dog. I'm sorry, he is a prick. He's mean and unruly and doesn't listen to anything, but he does care. And he does show that by the end of the film, and I think that's what James Gunn does really well, like showing people who are assholes that care. And he's done that with Guardians, he's done that with the Suicide Squad, and he brings it to every other character in the Superman movies as well. The Justice Gang are also, like, as a collective, they, you know, other than like the end of the movie where they come in and save that country, I don't really vibe with them. And again, you're not really supposed to. All of these characters are meant to grow. Some of them are meant to stay assholes, like Guy Gardner, but you know, that's literally his character, just how it is. But you can tell that they need someone like Superman or Wonder Woman, or someone who's just more like dutiful and hopeful, because they almost don't really care. They don't really give until like the end of the film, and like it's not really because they want to, but more because they kind of feel indebted to, and Lois forces them to, really. But no, Superman calls in a favor. That's my bad. I misspoke. Something that didn't really work for me in the film, or two things, was I understand the reason why Superman's parents were made into like this utilitarian Krypton, where they believe that they're better than everyone in the universe. And
I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean,
in a sense, but at the same time, they are arrogant and they are very much Kryptonian supremacists, and that is shone through in the message. But that message, that twist with Terrence's message being, half of it being, we love you, son, you mean more than us, than heaven and land, and you know, we love you and you do good for the people of Earth, excellent. And then they do like a heel turn where they're just like, actually, we're racist and we think we are better than everyone in the universe. Well, technically you're not wrong, but you guys are pricks about it, so like, and I'm just never too keen on this whole making Krypton like a heaven comparison, but at the same time negating the fact that Clark's biological parents were good people kind of muddies the water. But I wasn't too hot on that, but it works for the film, and I really didn't see why it was included, so I'm not gonna make too much gripes about that. Although I did just take like 5 minutes out of my day to tell you why I didn't like it. Whatever, okay? It doesn't mean anything. But what I can say, I did not actually get behind was the relationship between Lois and Clark, and in a sense, how they kind of made Lois act. Clark and Lois being in like the first 3 months of their relationship and being unsure about how they feel about each other, it's fair enough, and like, that is a natural feeling. Like, if you've ever been in a relationship and, you know, you see at the start of things, you just don't know how it's going to turn out, so you're not exactly 100% in on it. But Clark and Lois don't really get along outside of like the last 4 or 5 minutes, and I think that's kind of works to the detriment, because you don't really get to see them have fun together, do anything that isn't argue or an interview, or Clark save Lois's life. I guess you get to see that Clark loves Lois, but other than Lois saying it, you don't really get to see her love Clark in the same way. But maybe that's just my interpretation. And not only that, like, another issue I had with Lois is they kind of make her seem morally bankrupt. I get that she's doing her job as a reporter and trying to see inside of the story, but like, she doesn't look into LexCorp before they're a problem. Oh, sorry, not LexCorp, Luthorcorp before they're a problem. She doesn't like do any outward research on the conflict in Baravia and just criticizes Superman for it. And again, she's a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist. I kind of expected her to have done more research so she'd be able to kind of grow Clark more fairly in that interview. Just because it kind of felt like, and I know it's meant to feel like that, she's coming down on him pretty hard, but like, it also kind of felt like you wouldn't really have done anything unless Clark was in trouble. And that's not really the love for it. I understand from the comics, like, she will just chase the story no matter how. Like, it won't have to be incentivized like Clark's in trouble and needs some form of like out after this. It's more like she will have done the research, and then like Lex will have pulled the move and she'll be kind of ready to respond. Not like immediately, but she'll be ready to respond, because in this film she was playing a lot catch up, and I guess obviously they were kind of showing that Lex is so much further ahead than everyone, but even still, the lack of like initiative from Lois kind of makes it seem like she wouldn't have done it unless Clark was in danger. And I just don't think that sits right with the character. Again, she's a proactive, very strong, very capable reporter, and they do efforts to show that. But then again, it's just that little balancing act of like making her character work outside of Clark, because again, her heroics stem solely from Superman, and I don't think that that's necessarily truly how Lois Lane would have responded or been in that kind of situation. But the film's great. The film is generally great, and I'm not going to get too mad about like these little gripes yet again. But no, I think Lois was Rachel Rutherford did everything like perfectly fine. I just wish there was a bit more actual chemistry written between Clark and Lois, because it felt like a lot of confrontation. And yes, they do kiss for a weirdly long amount of time on screen. But again, it feels more like, it doesn't feel like it's love as much as it's like a lustful push, which is, I just wish they got along a little bit more and didn't have as many scenes where they were kind of verbally jousting, as you'd say. I just had a really good time. So, again, I'll remind you, if you haven't seen the new Superman film, go check it out. It's worth your time. Yeah, I will catch you guys in the next review, which will be our Squid Game review.
Thank you guys for checking with me and sticking to this part of the video. If you're still here, awesome, really appreciate it. Obviously, this was a bit of a new kind of approach to content for me, so I hope I did well. There's definitely a lot to learn, and I'll be reading comments and making sure that I pay attention to whatever's said. But with that in mind, I really appreciate you guys for watching. As I say, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.
Yeah, the drawers are recorded.